Can you imagine it? They totally ignored her when she strutted onto the sniper range. No unit patch, no name, just a quiet woman, older than the rest, confidently setting up at the far end with a rifle so ancient it looked like it belonged behind glass in a museum. The SEALs snickered, their egos puffed up like balloons. One even swaggered over, smirking, and offered to show her how it's done. How condescending. But Sarah Wren? She didn't even flinch. With the coolness of a seasoned pro, she loaded one solitary round, took a deep, steadying breath, and fired. And oh, what a shot! The target didn't just drop, it split right down the middle, cleaved in two like a lightning-struck tree. A hushed voice broke the stunned silence. No one's pulled that shot since Fallujah. But only one man there knew the whole jaw-dropping tale, and he'd kept his lips sealed for over a decade. Before we dive deeper, let me hit you with something straight from the heart. Are you ready to champion the unsung heroes who've given everything in the shadows? If you feel these raw, electrifying stories deserve to echo far and wide, smash that subscribe button and keep their legacies alive. What's unfolding here isn't just a tale, it's a wake-up call to the quiet legends lurking among us, begging for recognition. Picture this, the sky hung low, a muted gray shroud, when the first shots cracked through the dawn. Brass casings pinged against the concrete, boots crunched gravel, and the crisp ocean wind whipped the sharp echoes of suppressed fire into the swirling morning fog. This wasn't some rookie range, no way. This was the elite corridor where SEAL snipers sharpened their deadly craft, pushing precision to its breaking point. Targets here didn't just sit pretty, they danced, spun, flared, even fought back with mock fire systems rigged to punish any flicker of doubt. Every grueling session was timed, filmed, dissected frame by frame. Hitting a bullseye? Child's play. This was about steeling your nerves under pressure, exhaustion, and unrelenting fire. Can you feel the stakes? And on that fateful Thursday, everything hummed along as usual, until someone spotted her. She'd slipped in early, beating even the first instructors to the punch. How'd she breeze past security unnoticed? No one could recall, but the base sprawled wide, teams always shifting, sometimes consultants, specialists, or know-it-all psychologists would pop in, claiming to crack the sniper's mind. But her? She wasn't one of them. No questions, no gawking at the others, she just unpacked her gear in eerie silence at Lane 9, the legacy lane, steeped more in tradition than sweat. What was her deal? Her rifle, holy smokes, it was a fossil. No sleek modern chassis, no lightweight carbon fiber barrel, just a weathered beauty from another time, its wood grain faded, its action polished smooth by years of use. Some snickered she'd hauled it out for show, maybe a hand-me-down from her old man or a prop for some war flick. Foster, a cocky young shooter, leaned to his pal and quipped, "Did she raid a museum basement for that thing?" They stifled their laughs, better not push it. Around here, connections ran deep, and you never knew who held the strings. But as the morning ticked on, curiosity buzzed like static. Why hadn't she fired even once? She just sat there, tweaking her sights, wiping her scope with a care so obsessive it bordered on reverence. Her hands moved calm, steady, surgical, not sluggish, but deliberate, honed by decades, not days. No tremor, no pause, just pure, unshakable focus. What was she waiting for? Then, at 0700 sharp, Chief Instructor Karn stormed in, radiating his usual noble grit. Mid-40s, jaw carved like granite, medals pinned to his chest, he was a legend, though the red tape wore him thin. He swept his gaze over the line, sizing up every soul, until he locked on her. His brows knit for a heartbeat. Did he know her? Something about her face tugged at him, a ghost he couldn't pin down. He scribbled a note on his clipboard and pressed on, saying nothing. The live fire sequence roared to life, brutal as ever. Shooters cycled through stress drills, blind fire tests, hostage scenarios, all fake, all ferocious. She didn't budge. Then came the gauntlet, 10 shots, 3 distances, wind assist off, one breath per trigger pull, a soul-crushing test that shredded egos like paper. Even the top dogs limped away humbled sometimes. Foster took his turn, nailing 7 of 10, solid. The next guy scraped by with 6. One fumbled it all, slamming his rifle down in a fit. And then, she rose. Unbidden, unstoppable, she claimed the line like it was her birthright, like she'd faced this 1,000 times on mornings blacker than sin. 1 round. Just 1. Not 10. Carnes stepped up, voice like iron. "Ma'am, this course is restricted." She raised a finger, cool, not cocky, buying a moment. Then, a long inhale, a slow exhale, and she fired. The shot boomed like Judgment Day. It wasn't just noise, it was a revelation. The target didn't wobble or tip, it split, clean as a surgeon's cut, a perfect vertical gash. Unreal. Everyone turned to stone, speechless. Even the sensors blinked, like they needed a second to catch up. Carnes drifted to the monitor, dazed, tapping the replay, tracing the shot's path. That can't be possible," he mumbled, voice cracking. She just eased her rifle down, locked the bolt, cased it, no fuss, no fanfare, and strolled back to lane 9, sinking into her seat, eyes shut like she'd just taken a nap. That's when Ramirez, grizzled and grim, edged closer. His face drained pale, lips a tight line. Fallujah scarred him deep, shrapnel still lodged in his side. He stared, truly saw her, and breathed, "It's her. The one from 9 Palms. The one they dragged out after the accident." Foster piped up, "Who?" Ramirez bolted, no answer, leaving questions to fester. Deep in the archives, the name Sarah flickered back to life, some prayed it'd stay dead. When Sarah stepped out, the sky gleamed clear, but inside, a tempest brewed. That shot. Beyond impressive, it defied physics, laughed at their standards, a ghost move no manual dared claim. Not luck, a calling card. She glided past lockers, mess hall, past gawking recruits who snapped to attention. The air thickened, electric, like a storm rolling in. Techs tracked her on screens, mesmerized, not by danger, but by her quiet pull. In the debrief room, Carnes and Ramirez faced 2 stern brass from command. They hadn't a clue she'd surface, thought she might be long gone. Her file. 8 years cold, locked tight under clearance seals, no glory, no exit, just a blank. Ramirez, rattled, rasped, "I caught her name once. 9 Palms, Operation Backlash. Heard she nailed a triple in 7 seconds, crosswinds, haze, bleeding out, then poof, gone." Carnes scowled. "No record of that op." "Exactly," Ramirez shot back. "That's the kicker." The door flew open, no knock. Sarah marched in, no salute, no sorry, dropping a lone brass casing on the table, clink, spin, stop. "That's from your range," she said, ice cool. "Check your logs. One's off by 0.07 microns." Ramirez blinked. "Lane 3. Her gaze flicked to him, razor sharp. "Lane 3, Station 2. Warped barrel. Left drag under heat." Silence swallowed the room. "Legacy specialists can requalify here," she pressed on. "I'm not back to enlist, I'm here to wake you up." Carnes bristled. "They forgot how to shoot." "No," she sliced back, steady as stone. "They forgot why." She left them gaping. Near the west hangar, trainees buzzed, digging up a cryptic Milnet post about Phantom Zero, a sniper who shifted fates, not just targets. By 1800, Joint Command called, "Watch her, don't touch." Too late. She'd hit lane 9 again, her own mirrored targets glinting, 5 shots, 5 cracks, each a perfect web from the heart. Who was she, really? Can you imagine the disbelief rippling through the crowd? Someone whispered, their voice quivering with awe, that's light angle compensation. Another hissed, eyes wide, she's shooting at refraction points, what kind of sorcery is this? A third just stammered, what the hell are we even watching? The air buzzed with tension, thick and electric, as every gaze locked onto her. How could one woman turn a sniper range into a theater of the impossible? At that moment, Master Sergeant Cole stepped forward, his boots crunching the gravel like a drum roll. 2 decades of precision training pulsed in his veins, he'd forged snipers for every nightmare terrain, from icy sub-zero wastelands to blistering desert hellscapes. Yet there he stood, jaw clenched tight, hands on his hips, staring at Sarah like a rookie facing his first drill. I don't know where you trained, he growled, his voice taut with challenge, but this ain't doctrine. Doctrine? As if rules could cage what she just unleashed. Sarah turned slowly, her eyes sharp as a blade's edge. Doctrine's what you teach when you don't have time to teach truth, she fired back. That line, God, it hit like a thunderclap. It didn't just echo, it reverberated, heavy with history, as if it had been carved into her soul by warriors long gone. Cole edged closer, undeterred. What's your objective here? He demanded. She didn't flinch. Instead, she drifted to one of the shattered mirrored panes, her fingers brushing the fracture's heart. My objective, she murmured, her voice soft but piercing, was never to hit the target. It was to make them stop firing first. What did she mean? Who were they? The question hung there, unanswered, chilling the air. Silence swallowed the range after that, no one dared breathe. Across the base, eyes flicked to the control room, where range logs flickered with red flags. Her shots weren't chaos, they were a dance of deliberate mispaths, grazing zones crafted not to kill but to steer. She wasn't just a marksman, she was a force, a riddle wrapped in steel and shadow. By sunset, every instructor had either seen her shoot or dissected the footage like it was a sacred text. Her name, Sarah Wren, slipped through the base like a secret too big to hold. But no one, not even Ramirez with his haunted eyes, could have braced for what came next. That night, a priority alert screamed through the comms, a real-world hostage crisis, no drill, no simulation, and every sniper on the roster was locked in ops. Except her. Was this fate? Or something darker? The silence around Lane 9 felt alive, unnatural. Normally, SEAL ranges thrummed with chaos, steel plates clanging, instructors barking, wind calculations hissed under breath. But now? A hush fell, unscripted, primal, as if the earth itself sensed a shift. Sarah Wren had fired one shot, just one, and it wasn't luck. It wasn't a trick of light or a flimsy target. It was intent, honed to a razor's edge, owned by a woman who'd clearly danced with death before. Could you feel the weight of it? Every operator on that line did. Chief Karn stood rooted at the observation terminal, his breath shallow, eyes glued to the slow-motion replay. The target didn't just crack, it split, cleaved clean down the middle. Split down the middle, he whispered, the words slipping out like a prayer. He didn't even know he'd said it aloud. His hand hovered over the touchscreen, trembling, as if shutting it off would erase the miracle he'd just seen. But it couldn't, nothing could. Behind him, Foster and 2 others packed their gear, but their hands moved like they were underwater, their heads tilting toward Lane 9. They stole glances, half awe, half dread. Her shot didn't just impress, it rattled them to their core. How do you measure yourself against that? How do you even try? Then, the perimeter gate groaned open, shattering the stillness. A black SUV rolled in, matte finish, tinted windows, no insignia, like a phantom slipping through the dusk. Karn squinted, his gut tightening. Who were they? This wasn't on the schedule. 2 figures emerged, a Navy vice admiral, his silver oak leaves glinting like a warning, and a civilian in a gray suit, narrow and sharp, eyes masked by matte black sunglasses. They didn't pause, didn't explain, just strode toward Lane 9 like they owned the ground beneath them. Karns intercepted, his voice steady but edged. Can I help you, sir? The civilian's reply was ice. You can stand aside. Carnes blinked, caught off guard. This is a closed session. The Admiral didn't bother with pleasantries. We're not here for the session. We're here for her, he said, nodding toward Sarah, still as stone since her shot. Is that rifle hers? Yes, sir, Carnes said, hesitating. She brought it. Did she fire? One shot. And? Carnes swallowed hard. It split the target down the center. The civilian tilted his head, a faint smirk flickering. Just like Bolivia, he muttered, barely audible. Bolivia? What the hell did that mean? Carnes stepped aside, his voice rising. What's going on? Who is she? No answer. The two marched to lane 9, the Admiral stopping short of Sarah. Still waking ghosts, Ren, he said, his nod more memory than respect. She opened her eyes, her gaze unwavering. They're the only ones who shoot straight anymore. The civilian pulled a relic from his pocket, an old military device, green screen glowing, keypad clicking as he punched in a code. Sarah stood, unzipped her rifle case, and handed him a sealed envelope, plain, unmarked, wax seal gleaming like a blood-red omen. What was inside? What secrets did it guard? The civilian took it, nodded, and turned away. The Admiral lingered, his voice low. You're not going to tell them? Sarah glanced at the shooters watching her, skeptics, believers, all hungry for answers. What would I say? She replied, soft as a sigh. That once, a command sent me to watch over men who couldn't shoot what they couldn't see. And when they asked how you saw it, the Admiral pressed. Her thin smile cut deeper than words. I didn't. I just listened better than they screamed. Those words, God, they landed like a punch. What had she heard? What horrors had shaped her? The Admiral paused. That file, if it leaks, it won't, she snapped, iron in her tone. You sure? I sealed it myself. He nodded, finality settling in. If you ever come back, I'm not coming back, she said, gentle but unyielding. They walked off, gravel crunching, the SUV vanishing beyond the hill. The range stayed still, heavy with her shadow. Foster broke the quiet. Chief, what the hell was that? Carnes stared at lane 9, empty now, save for the warm barrel and the swaying, split target. Some shooters earn their name on a patch, he said, voice thick. Others leave it behind so no one can follow. And behind him, her legend ignited, wildfire fast. Did they know yet? By morning, they'd be debriefed. The man in the suit hadn't come for a report, he'd come to awaken a ghost who'd never officially existed. By 0400, the range was silent again, but it was a different silence, haunted, heavy. Training rolled on, targets reset, wind flags fluttering, rangefinders humming, but the operators moved like they were wading through fog. No laughter, no taunts, just her name, whispered like a curse. Foster sat on the armory bench, lacing his boots with agonizing slowness, his hand brushing the folded target sheet split. He'd begged the techs for it, not to idolize, but to prove it was real. Rivas leaned against a locker, arms crossed, voice sharp. She doesn't exist in the database. Foster stayed quiet. Rivas pressed closer. I checked, every sniper record since the Gulf War. No run. Not DevGru, not Tier 1, nothing. Maybe she wasn't in a unit, Foster murmured. Rivas laughed, bitter. Even ghosts leave footprints. Carnes stormed in, silencing them, a classified folder slamming onto the table. No one touched it, instinct screamed danger. Training suspended for the morning, he barked. Rivas frowned. Suspended? Why? Carnes didn't blink. Command decision. Related to yesterday. Foster spoke up. She's one of them, isn't she? The shooters they don't talk about. Karn's eyes were steel. What do you think? No answer needed, her shot had screamed the truth. You're not briefing us. Rivas challenged. You were already briefed, Karn said, cryptic. You just didn't know it was live. He grabbed the folder and left. What did that mean? Meanwhile, 3,000 miles away, a Blackhawk with no markings kissed a windswept landing pad, no clearance, no trace. Sarah unbuckled in silence. The co-pilot twisted back. Ma'am, that shot, I heard, she cut him off, calm as death. You heard a version of it. What's the real version? She stepped into the wind, gear in hand. The part nobody recorded. And she was gone, swallowed by a stone fortress, guarded, secret, eternal. Inside, a woman waited, 50s, severe, unblinking. You're late. I'm not. You were seen. I was meant to be. The woman glared. That range, you knew who'd be there. Sarah's silence roared. They were the next generation, she said. They needed to see what's still possible. You jeopardized your invisibility, the woman snapped. It was already gone, Sarah countered. The drone project made me a ghost in plain sight. And the envelope? Delivered. The woman pulled a case from a cabinet, a custom rifle, built for Sarah's soul. She stared, then shut it. I'm not taking it. The woman's voice darkened. You think you can walk away again? I don't think, I know. A tense beat. They'll come back for you. Next time, you might not choose the mission. Sarah's faint smile was a dagger. They never did the first time either. And she walked away, leaving the rifle, and the question, behind, what had she lost to become this unstoppable force? Picture the dead of night on base, shrouded in an eerie calm. Between 0400 and 0420, a sealed message appears on Chief Karn's desk, out of nowhere. No courier, no drone, no sign of who dared to leave it. Who could have breached the silence so boldly? With hands steady as a rock, Karns tears it open, and what does he find? A single, grainy photo that stops him cold, a younger Sarah Wren, no rank, no uniform, kneeling beside 3 fallen souls, 2 grown men and a teenage boy, each marked by a gunshot wound so precise it pierced cinder block and armor alike. Behind her, a wall screams with foreign dialects, unreadable and raw, sandbags slump like a fortress in its dying breath, and a flag smolders, half-burned in the dust. What kind of chaos had she survived? He flips the photo, and there it is, a handwritten note, scrawled like a secret, you train shooters. I train silence. Thanks for letting me borrow your range. W, who's W? What does it even mean to train silence? Karns folds it with care, locks it in his drawer, and slumps back, whispering to the empty room, who the hell are you? The words echo, unanswered. Somewhere far off, in a facility erased from every map, Sarah Wren sets her gear down. Can you hear the quiet settling in? She embraces the silence like a long-lost friend, but oh, it's fleeting. Next week, wide-eyed recruits will huddle over footage, frame by painstaking frame, and one will gasp, what's that ripple in her shoulder? They'll slow it down, pick apart the recoil, match it against every weapon they know. And then, an inconsistency. A shiver-inducing question slips out, why was she allowed to shoot? And why, oh why, was it recorded? Little do they know, that shot wasn't just a flex, it was a message, a thunderclap for those who thought she'd faded away. When that truth unravels, truly unravels, it'll freeze the shadowy halls of Washington to their core. Sarah Wren didn't stride onto that range to prove anything, she came to etch a promise in time. And the real report? One chilling line, she didn't aim for the target. She aimed for memory. Can you feel the weight of that? The range falls deathly quiet as Sarah steps off the firing line, nobody dares breathe. Out there, the target hangs, split clean down the middle, one half peeling outward like a torn diary page, the other clinging by a splinter. A fog-like silence blankets the SEAL's sniper range, heavy and unbroken. Weapons stay untouched, scores ignored, all eyes are on her. The instructors freeze mid-step, staring as if a phantom from some lost playbook just walked in. Carnes stumbles back a step. Did that shot just hit him square in the chest? His gaze locks on the rifle dangling casually at her side. That antique. The one they'd mocked as a relic. How could that museum piece fire so flawlessly, slicing through metal plates built to defy elite rounds? He swallows, throat tight. Who trained you? He rasps, desperation creeping in. Sarah doesn't flinch, doesn't even glance his way. Her eyes chase the sky, lost in some far-off echo of that shot. Where is she right now? Across an ocean, years ago, maybe? Her silence isn't pride, it's a wall they can't scale, not yet. Carnes inches forward, voice hushed with awe. That shot, it's straight out of a buried legend. Romani, 2006, a sniper fells 3 with 1 split bullet. Textbook perfection, if you ignore that the textbook's ashes now. She doesn't speak, but her stance softens ever so slightly. She's not stone, not a machine, she's reliving something deep. Another instructor creeps up, clipboard trembling in his grip. He scans it, eyes narrowing. No unit, no record, no guest log, she's a ghost, he whispers. She shouldn't be here. The SEALs erupt in hushed chaos, a setup. Military? That rifle's Vietnam era. She's too young, did a war ghost teach her? Carnes sucks in a breath and dares the unthinkable. Ma'am, were you with Operation Harrow? The range turns to ice. Harrow. Black Ops, the kind that leaves no trace, no heroes. Sarah tilts her head, just a fraction. You shouldn't know that name, she warns, voice low and lethal. Carnes presses on, I wasn't meant to. But my old CEO, he kept a photo. A woman in shadows, spotting for Ghost Viper. She vanished, squad stamped Kia. Sarah blinks, slow and deliberate. Ghost Viper wasn't the sniper, she murmurs. I was. The words land like a bomb, nobody moves. Then a cocky young SEAL staggers back, as if she might ignite right there. Carnes' breath vanishes. But Ghost Viper's a legend, she locks eyes with him, steel beneath frost. He was my spotter. They flipped it, Ghost Viper was me. He fell on the last mission. I pulled the trigger. The truth slams into them like a muffled blast, some look away, one instructor collapses onto the platform, reeling from the history that just stormed in, uninvited. Sarah didn't come to flex, she came to face her past self, no medals or cheers required. This range. Her reckoning. Carnes steps up, respect steadying him. Why now? Why today? Sarah breathes deep, her haunted eyes cutting through him. I heard this unit's losing its soul, not skill, but humility. You're too good to listen, too proud to recall a shot's cost when it misses. Her words sting, and a heavy silence follows. She turns to leave, no one stops her, no one dares. At the gate, an instructor fumbles for his radio but freezes, what's there to say? She melts into the gravel path, silent as fog. Carnes faces his men. New rule, don't ask if you're good enough, ask if she'd watch your shot. They drift back to their posts, no bravado, just quiet focus and careful hands. Did she just rewrite them? That cracked target dangles out there, a torn memory no one will touch, ever. She gave no name, but did she need to? That day shifted everything, not just records, but the air itself, thick with respect, not fear. Warriors know their own, and though she wore no rank, her grip on that rifle, her breath between shots, they knew. She didn't aim to dazzle or lecture, yet she did both, silent as ever. Backlit by the setting sun, she walked away, and they stood still, why let that moment slip? She was no haunting ghost, but a reminder of what must never fade. They'll whisper of that day, never aloud, and that silence after her shot. It'll scream louder than words. Some tales don't end, they linger in memory. Sarah Wren's story ignites something fierce in me, a raw, electric admiration for a life stripped of pretense and built on pure, unyielding merit. She's a blazing middle finger to the suffocating hierarchies we're all supposed to bow to, the ones that demand titles, credentials, or a shiny badge before you're allowed to matter. I'm sick of a world that measures worth by how loud you scream or how many followers you've got. Sarah doesn't play that game, she strides in, shatters the target, and walks away, leaving the SEALs' egos in the dust. That's power. That's freedom. Her lifestyle. It's a quiet rebellion I crave, living proof that you don't need to fit the mold to break it. Socially, she's a wake-up call, stop worshipping rank and start revering skill. I'm done with systems that prop up mediocrity while legends like her fade into shadows. She doesn't chase applause or validation, and that hits me hard. Why do we waste so much energy begging to be seen? Sarah Wren's my hero, a ghost who screams truth without saying a word. Real greatness doesn't need a spotlight, it just is. Thanks for riding this wild, heart-pounding wave with us. Did it hit you hard? Then smash that subscribe button, ring the bell, don't miss a second of this ride. Here's to the silent sacrifices holding us up, together, we're unstoppable. Catch you next time.